Isla Hermosa, Pacific Ocean. The waves crashed relentlessly against the battered hull of Miguel Rodriguez's old fishing boat as he scanned the horizon for any sign of a catch. For years, fishing these isolated waters had been a battle of survival, a daily gamble against the elements and poverty. But on a humid morning in late March, Miguel's life would take a turn so dramatic it would echo across his entire village and beyond. What began as a routine day at sea ended in a discovery that would not only lift his family from generations of hardship, but also transform an entire community. This is the true story of how one poor fisherman stumbled upon a mysterious cargo container washed up on a remote island, and how what he found inside brought him to tears and changed everything. Miguel Rodriguez, 41, is a third-generation fisherman from the tiny coastal village of San Felipe, nestled along one of the most remote stretches of the Pacific. With weathered hands and sun-creased skin, Miguel's life had always been defined by the sea's uncertainty. "Some days you come home with nothing," he told this reporter, sitting on the porch of his newly rebuilt home. "Some days just enough to eat." His wife, Elena, and their 3 children depended on his daily catch. But with each passing year, the fish grew scarcer, and the old outboard motor on his wooden boat sputtered more often than it ran. Many of his neighbors had already given up fishing, forced inland by poverty and the lure of city slums. Miguel, stubborn and proud, refused to quit. "I always believed the ocean would provide," he said, "but I never imagined it would be like this." On March 18, 2024, Miguel set out before dawn, steering his boat west toward the chain of uninhabited islets known as Isla Hermosa. Locals called them the Lost Islands, a place of legends, shipwrecks, and sometimes tragedy. As the sun rose, a metallic flash caught Miguel's eye on the southern shore of the largest island. "At first, I thought it was just driftwood, or maybe an old boat," Miguel recalled. "But as I got closer, I saw it was something much bigger." Pulling his boat through the surf, Miguel waded ashore and stood before a massive steel cargo container, half buried in sand and seaweed. The container's faded blue paint was streaked with rust, barnacles clung to its sides, and a battered padlock held the door shut. There were no markings, no shipping labels, just a serial number barely visible beneath the grime. Miguel circled the container, searching for clues. "It looked like it had been here for years," he said, "but I had to know what was inside." With no tools but his fishing machete and a heavy stone, Miguel set to work on the corroded padlock. For nearly an hour he hammered and pried, sweat pouring down his face, hands blistering. "I thought about giving up," he admitted, "but something told me to keep going." Finally, with a sharp crack, the lock gave way. Miguel pulled open the heavy doors, bracing himself for anything: dead fish, rotten food, or worse. Instead, he found row after row of plain wooden boxes, stacked neatly from floor to ceiling. "Castaway from Mexico. First photos of Jose Salvador Alvarenga's boat." "At first, I was disappointed," Miguel said. "It looked like junk. Old boxes, maybe empty." Still, curiosity got the better of him. He grabbed a crowbar and pried open the nearest crate. As the lid gave way, a sweet, intoxicating aroma flooded the air. Miguel stared in disbelief at what lay inside. Thousands of perfectly preserved vanilla beans, their dark pods glistening with oil, bundled in wax paper and straw. "I couldn't believe it," he said, voice trembling. "I knew vanilla was valuable, but I'd never even seen so much in my life. I just sat down and cried." The news of Miguel's find spread quickly through San Felipe. At first, many villagers thought it was a rumor, another fisherman's tall tale. But as word reached local authorities, an official investigation was launched. Harbor police and customs agents arrived on Isla Hermosa within days. They cataloged the container and its cargo, searching for evidence of ownership. The serial number revealed the container had been registered to a shipping company in Singapore, but records showed it was lost at sea during a typhoon in 2019. The ship's manifest listed agricultural products, but no insurance claim had ever been filed. "It was like the container had simply vanished," said Inspector Luis Ortega, who led the inquiry. "No one came forward to claim it. No company, no insurer, no owner." Under international maritime salvage law, unclaimed cargo recovered from the sea becomes the property of the finder, provided no ownership is established after a reasonable search. After months of paperwork and legal review, Miguel was declared the rightful owner. But how valuable was Miguel's discovery? Vanilla, often called black gold, is one of the world's most expensive spices. The beans found in the container were of the highest grade, Madagascar bourbon vanilla, prized by chefs and perfumers worldwide. A local spice broker, Maria Castillo, was the first to appraise the cargo. "I nearly fainted when I saw the quality," she told this reporter. "Even after years at sea, the beans were perfectly preserved. The container must have been airtight." Word spread to international spice distributors. Within weeks, Miguel was fielding offers from buyers in Europe, the United States, and Japan. In the end, he sold the entire cargo to a consortium of buyers for $142,000, a sum unimaginable in San Felipe, where the average family earns less than $3,000 a year. For Miguel, the windfall was life-changing. He paid off his family's debts, rebuilt his crumbling home, and bought new fishing equipment, but he didn't stop there. "I wanted to help my neighbors too," he said. Miguel purchased 2 modern fishing boats and hired unemployed men from the village to crew them. He set up a cooperative, sharing profits with the community and investing in new nets, engines, and safety gear. Within a year, the fortunes of San Felipe had been transformed. Families who once struggled to afford rice and beans now sent their children to school. The village market bustled with new shops and vendors, and for the first time in memory, no one went hungry. "Before, we just survived," said Elena, Miguel's wife. "Now we have hope." Despite the happy ending, questions linger about the container's journey. How did it survive years at sea? Why was no insurance claim filed? And could there be other lost cargoes scattered along the world's forgotten shores? Inspector Ortega believes the answers may never be known. "The ocean keeps its secrets," he said, "but sometimes it gives back." For Miguel, the experience has left him both grateful and humble. "I still fish every day," he said, "but now I remember that anything can happen. The sea is full of surprises." Miguel Rodriguez's story is more than a tale of luck. It's a testament to perseverance, community, and the unpredictable generosity of fate. In a world where the poor are too often forgotten, one man's determination and a stroke of luck lifted not just his family, but an entire village. As the sun sets over San Felipe, Miguel stands on the shore, watching his new boats return with the day's catch. The air is thick with the scent of salt and hope. And somewhere, far out to sea, another secret may be drifting toward shore, waiting to change another life forever. Thank you for treading this trail of tales till we travel together again on another adventure.